eat of the tree, you shall surely die. They ate of the tree, said, ha ha ha, we're still here, hide in the garden. But cursed speaks to the end of the thing. God says to people who don't tithe, you are cursed with the curse. And yet there are all kinds of people who don't tithe, and they just driving better cars than you and living in better houses than you. The curse speaks to the end of a thing. If cursed speaks to the end of a thing, you must understand that its equal opposite, blessed, speaks to the end of a thing. It doesn't mean that you won't have adversity. It doesn't mean that you won't have trouble. It doesn't mean that you won't go through some tough times, but ultimately you will rise over adversity. Okay? And so David is blessed, and he's had some javelins thrown at him. He's made some mistakes. He's gotten off course sometimes. He's had some moral failures and everything else. He's embarrassed himself and embarrassed God and everything else, but still he just lands back on his feet again. He's blessed. Blessed. And true worship comes from people who are blessed. Yeah, I don't mean just people who have stuff, but people who landed on their feet in spite of other situations and circumstances, that it does something to them, where they're grateful. It is the adversity that you overcome that brings you into awareness that you're blessed. Okay, so if you think that you're not blessed because you have adversity, you're wrong. Adversity helps you to measure the extent that you're blessed, because anybody else would have been destroyed by that, and yet you came over top of that. You're blessed. Anybody in here want to be blessed? God says one of the ways, one of the things that you need to do, one of the things, not the only thing, but one of the things that brings you to in alignment to be blessed is, first of all, to be his, okay? But second of all, he says that he would pour you out a blessing as you bring your tithes to him. God said, I'll pour you out a blessing. You won't have room enough to receive, according to Malachi 3:10. He said, I'll do that. And so, but there are other things that David points out that must be done, and I think they're important to be taught here. And so I'm going to talk about the blessed test, so you can determine if you are blessed, and you can determine what you need to do to bring yourself into alignment so that you can be more blessed. And it's 3 don'ts and a do. It's 3 don'ts and a do. Okay, 3 don'ts and a do. 3 don'ts and a do. The first don't is, he said, blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly. He says, I will not bless you if you listen at ungodly, worldly, secular advice. Because then you have put yourself in a place of naturalness and not supernaturalness, and you're just vulnerable to whatever's going on in the world. You know, if the world goes up, you go up. If the world goes down, you go down. Because you're walking in the counsel or the wisdom or the advice of the ungodly. Now, on one level, that says to me that I don't let ungodly people advise me. I don't let the world advise me. I'm not moved by the trends I see in the world. I'm going to stand independent from that and say, God, what are you saying for my life? And because I don't just follow the course of this world. Okay? That's one level. And that sounds real easy to do, but it's not really easy to do. Okay? It's not really easy to do. I want Pastor Eston to read Romans 12, verse 2.
And be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind.
Okay. He said, go ahead and read the rest of it.
That ye may prove what is that good and acceptable and perfect will of God.
He says, be not conformed to this world. Conform, don't shape around what's going on in the world. Don't shape around, don't make everything congruent with worldliness. Be not conformed to this world. That's one thing. So that you're not moving in formation and alignment to the world. Just because the world's going under don't mean you have to go under. Just because the world's gone wild doesn't mean you have to go wild. Be not conformed to this world. There's so many people in the church today who are totally fed from the world. Okay, they're totally fed from the world because you really don't spend your life around church people. You work around secular people. Half of your family are secular people. Your next door neighbor is secular people. And so I got this one little hour or so to come against all those other hours that you're getting bombarded with all kinds of information through the newspaper and the internet and everything else that's saying something contrary. And God is saying that don't be conformed to this world, but he says, be ye transformed. Now, conform is to shape around, but transform is an intrinsic inner thing. It's an inner thing that transforms, like a moth turning into a worm, turning into a butterfly. It's a metamorphosis. It starts internally and it affects externally. Be transformed. How can I get the best part of me to come out so that I evolve and develop and become who God wants me to be? Because I don't want to crawl on this level if it's in me to fly on this level. Okay, so I want to transform. If I don't transform, I'm going to be frustrated. I like to be around people that help me to transform. Don't you? I like to be around people that bring the wings out in me and not the worm out in me.
Still to come on the Potter's Touch.
It's easy to fix up the outside. You don't like your nose ache, whack it off, whack it down, turn it over. You got too much belly, they suck it out. They just suck it